am excited for this topic today because we get to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is building an online brand. And you guys, I have been talking about building an online brand since before building an online brand, at least a personal online brand, was ever even popular or people even knew what that meant. So I'm so excited to talk about this today because nowadays everybody kind of is talking about building an online brand. However, I'm going to be talking about building an online brand specific to selling stuff. So if you have products or services that you're selling and you're building your online brand because you want to sell more of your stuff, this is today's topic for you because I'm going to share with you 6 essential things that you need to consider and you need to be doing if you want to build a profitable, successful online brand. So that's what we're talking about today. And I see so many people out there like, I know I need to be building an online brand and I want to attract more buyers for my products and services. And then I look at some of the stuff and I'm like, oh, okay, we've got a little bit of work to do. So although that stuff helps, like having a fancy logo, the right colors, the right fonts, like all that stuff, it helps your brand. That's not the thing that actually makes you money. All right. Like if you are just building an entertainment brand or anything like that and don't really care about making money, then that's, fine. Like you can just focus on that. But if you really want to build a strong, profitable brand, like you need to show up and people need to take action with you. If that is a goal, like some kind of an action, whether they become a lead, whether they become a sale, whether they become a buyer, a repeat buyer, it is really important for you to understand these specific online branding tips. And I'm going to label them in order of importance, in my opinion, of being a online branding like trainer, as well as like digital marketing trainer for 13 years. All right. And I'll give you a good book as well. There's a really great book that I read and I saw the author of the book do a keynote at an event and it was really, really great. I'll give you that book in a minute too. So the first thing that is really important when you show up to build an online brand, your avatar. So I like to call my avatar my tribe. But it has many different words. Like you can call it a tribe, not your niche, but your tribe. So your niche would be like if you were in health and wellness and you were selling health and wellness products of any kind, like health and wellness would be your niche. But like your tribe or your target audience or your avatar is going to be like, who is it that you're showing up for? Okay. So your tribe is really, really important to understand. So understanding and knowing who you're showing up to serve. But that's the number one thing that you have to understand when you're building an online brand is knowing who you're showing up to serve, understanding your tribe. The second thing that is most important on top of that. So once you understand who your tribe is and who you're showing up to serve, that's important because you have to know everything else is it. So I'm digress a little bit before I go to number 2. Everything that revolves around your brand after you know your tribe, it is related to your tribe, has everything to do with your tribe. Your colors that you pick, the logo, the content that you decide to post or you show up with, those are all revolving around serving your tribe. Somebody asked me one time, hey Tanya, this is, what do I wear when I like show up on my lives? And this was like a legit concern. Like it was holding them back. Like they just didn't know how to present themselves. They thought that they had to like show up really professional and, present themselves really eloquently. And my question to that individual that asked that question to me, I said, well, who's your tribe, right? Like, who are you marketing to? Who are you relating with? And actually their tribe happened to be moms as well. I don't know specifically what kind of moms, but it was like moms. Their tribe was like stay-at-home moms, like younger children were in the house. And I was like, okay, well, if you're trying to relate to moms that have younger children around the house, like, do you need to get dressed up in a professional way, like a corporate person would get dressed up to relate to a mom? No, you don't, because if you did, you would not relate to that person. So you could literally be showing up on your lives or doing your content or your pictures or your graphics. You could be in like a t-shirt or a yoga shirt or a sports bra, like whatever you wear as a mom. top knot like in the hair, like nothing fancy. Maybe you wear a little bit of makeup, probably not a lot of makeup because most moms don't have time to do a lot of makeup, especially if they have young children and they're staying at home and that's their sole focus. So you really are going to relate everything to do around your tribe. And this is how important it is to know who you're showing up and serving. That's what's the number one thing when you build an online brand. The second thing is you got to understand, this has something to do with your tribe as well, but you have to understand their needs, their wants, and their desires. And this goes into understanding your tribe. So once you know your tribe, what is most important to them, what is least important to them, what is scary to them, what keeps them up at night, what do they walk around all day long thinking in their head that they wish they had more of or less of? What do they walk around? So important as a marketer. If you can understand your tribe so clearly, it also makes your job so much easier as a marketer, because then you can speak to those people very easily and give them what they need and want because you know what they need and want. But what are the things that they walk around every day and they're like, man, I wish I had more of this, like more time, more money, or less overwhelm, less confusion, less tired, less achy body, like whatever it is, okay, for your tribe. Okay, that's the second thing. Understand what their needs, wants, and desires are very intently, right? The third thing, when building an online brand, does this tribe know that they're in the right spot when they encounter you? Very important. So your social media profiles, your content that you're creating, when you have to ask yourself, when somebody lands on your website, your blog, your social media profile, and they see it and they have a first impression with you, they have a first interaction, it's normally like a few seconds, does your tribe know that they are in the right spot and this is for them? You are for them. So for example, when I do a lot of my social media posts, when I come up with the titles of the posts, when I do the titles for our high value content on the blog and on the website, when somebody first hits my website, when somebody first hits any of my social media profiles, if they are an entrepreneur or a business owner, they know that they're in the right spot because I'm using language that serves them. So you have to go back to your social media profiles. You have to go back to some of your content. If you have a blog, if you have a website, and at first glance, if your tribe hits that spot, do they know that that is for them? You are for them. Are you speaking their language? Are you calling them out? Are you like, hey, I help, and insert your tribe with how you help them? So again, go and do an audit of all of these places that your tribe can find you and ask yourself that question. And if you don't know, or if you like struggle with that a little bit, then ask somebody to help you. Say, go to somebody that you know. So Mariposa, her tribe is busy moms. Mariposa, you might go to a busy mom friend of yours, or maybe you're in a group that has a bunch of other busy moms. And you might say, hey, can you help me do like a really quick brand audit just to make sure I'm landing correctly with my message? And if you hit my social media Facebook page or my profile or my Instagram or my TikTok, whatever, like, do you know this is for you as a busy mom? Like, does that give you the impression that you were in the right space with the language that I'm using, with the content that I'm posting? Okay. That is number 3. Number 4, this is a really cool one if you struggle with content. This will help you a ton. What are the top 5 topics you help your tribe with? So what are the top 5 topics that you help your tribe with? Okay, so for example, since Mariposa shared that her tribe is busy moms, and if you guys want me to use an example for you, let me know what your tribe is in the comment section below. So Mariposa uses busy moms. And now what she could do, very simply, take 5 minutes and 10 minutes to do this and go, okay, my tribe is busy moms. What are 5 important topics that I could talk about and I could revolve my content around that serves busy moms? You could talk about, and again, trying to think about, Mariposa, like what you sell as well, because we want to lead into like what you ultimately sell, and you want to get people like intrigued and buying from you too, right? Paying attention and buying. So what you want to think about is, okay, maybe I'm going to talk about easy, quick, healthy meal ideas for the family. Mom self-care that does not require, extra money or extra time that you could sneak in during nap time or something like that if you have younger kids or whatever, right? Saving up and building enough wealth for college education for your children, right? So that might be a topic that you talk about, okay, wealth building, and relate that to college education for your children. You could also talk about, maybe what's another topic important to mom, thinking again about what you sell. I'm not too sure, but you think about this, maybe safe home products for you and the family, so that you are always providing the best, toxic-free living environment for you and your family at home. And then maybe the other topic might be really cool vacation ideas or staycation ideas for the family to make sure that your weekends are full of the greatest memories that you can, and you can squeeze out as many memories from your family before they're grown up and they move away or whatever, right? So you're starting to think about, okay, what are the 5 top things that I'm going to talk about with my tribe? Now, when you have these 5 top things, and for those of you guys that are wondering, like, can it be more than 5? Sure. But just keep it easy on yourself for now and just go, okay, I'm going to pick 5. And now when you sit down and you make your posts on social media, you just pick from one of those top 5 because you know who your tribe is. You figured out the topics that are important to them and they would be interested in, and you're giving value through your content as you build your brand and you're serving your tribe. You're just picking from one of those topics that you know that your tribe would be interested in. All right. So that's just an example. And that is number 4. What are the top 5 topics to help your tribe with that you're going to revolve content around? Because number 5 is important. Your goal, okay, this is what I wrote down for number 5. Your goal is to become the go-to person when you build an online brand for XYZ information, okay? So in this case, Mariposa's Busy Moms, her goal when she's building an online brand, her ultimate goal should be to become one of the go-to people that busy moms go to for busy mom information. Like, I'm a busy mom, like, help me with being the best mom for my family, being, in all areas of that. There's so many different areas of that with those 5 topics. You can be the go-to person for that tribe of individual. When I was building my business in the beginning, my brand kind of found its own way into the network marketing space. Because I was in network marketing, I came to the online world to learn how to get more customers and business builders. That was my beginning stages, like 13 years ago online. And I started to just teach other people in network marketing what I was doing to acquire customers and team members. And then I would come out with value every week. And I was consistent with that every week, just helping people, showing people what I was doing. I was just kind of like taking people on my journey. And over time, I became like one of the go-to people for network marketing information, specifically related to building and acquiring customers using social media. And I don't know if I'm still one of the biggest female YouTube channels with that specific topic for that specific tribe. And, I'll go to network marketing events and, people will come up and be like, oh, Tanya, I watch your videos. They were so helpful. And I did not know it, or I didn't even realize what I was doing at the time. But that was, I guess, my goal, or it should have been my goal, to be the go-to person for XYZ information. And now we've sort of expanded. So we don't just serve network marketers anymore. It's like what will work for a network marketer will also work for any business owner and entrepreneur that needs to make sales and wants to make sales online. So we've kind of expanded our horizons a little bit over the years. And now my goal is to be the go-to person for online marketing education, specifically for entrepreneurs and business owners that want to grow their business, acquire more customers, and do it in a leveraged way without working themselves to the bone so they can have a life that they love. Like, that is my goal. That is the go-to person that I want to be. So you got to ask yourself, for you, like, do not play small with this. Like, if you're playing small, like, what for? You're going to do the same amount of work to play small versus play big if you do it right, right? So anyways, I digress, but your goal, number 5, in my online branding tips for you, is to know what your goal is and to be that go-to person for that tribe with that information, the go-to person for XYZ information, okay? And then number 6, and you guys will realize that this is number 6 for a reason. It's all the way down at the bottom because it is the last thing that you should be focusing on when building an online brand, but it is something that is important and does matter, especially nowadays. And I never had this in the list 5 years ago, but now the landscape of online brands, personal online brands, there's a lot more people that are utilizing the internet and utilizing digital marketing and social media to grow their brands and businesses. So this is becoming more and more important in the way that I also teach it, because you have to stand out and you have to, but by the way, you will stand out without this if you know your tribe and you provide them really great information, because you could have the most basic profile picture that you just did selfie style, all right? And provided it's still like decent and it looks great, it doesn't have to be professional or anything like that. So long as you're serving your tribe and giving good value, you still will be on a great road with sales and product sales with your tribe. But number 6, are you professionally represented? Okay, so what does that mean? Do you have a logo? Do you have a website? Do you have a blog where you're putting out content that you own and control? It kind of steps you up from everybody else on social media. Social media, anybody can set up a social media account. It takes 5 seconds. Not everybody has a website or a blog or a logo or professional photos of them. Now, are these things that you need? No, but these are things that help you stand out beyond anybody else. However, the problem that I see is that most people go, because it's the fun stuff, right? For some people, it's the fun stuff, like the professional pictures and things like that, right? But this is not the area that you focus first. Because like I said before, if you're going to get a photo shoot done or you're getting a logo created, you have to like create these with a certain vibe. And that vibe has to match your tribe. And if you don't know who your tribe is, your vibe is going to be off. All right. It just is. So this is why it's very important. The first thing that you do is create your tribe. Know who that is, because everything revolves around your tribe and who you are serving and who you want to become the go-to person for XYZ information. All right. And then I have something for you guys, and there's some really great questions that actually came through here. So I'm going to answer those, but I want to give you guys something as well that I think might really help you. So chances are you're here because you're building an online brand and you want to do it right and you want to amplify that and you want to optimize that as much as possible. So I have created a freebie for you guys, and you guys can take a snapshot of this, or if somebody can type the link in the comment section below, that would be helpful. But it's my 10 daily activities to help you increase your influence and credibility. So if you go to tanyaaliza.com/164, there's a training there on how to do this, but there's the freebie that you can download, and it's basically like a little checklist. You can print it off and you can stick it up in your office, like right beside your computer or wherever you work, and you can kind of go through that. They're really simple activities to help you increase your influence and credibility, because people buy from people that they look up to, they know, they like, they trust, and they feel that they have some sort of credibility in a manner that you can help them. If people don't feel or know that you can help them, like move them from where they're at now to where it is that they want to go, if they don't feel that you have credibility or influence to help them, then they're not going to take action with you or buy from you. It's just the way it works. And there's a really good book. So I said I'd give you a book, but actually there's 2 books. I talk about this one book all the time. It's called The Psychology of Influence. and it's by Robert Cialdini. And actually, if you go and download my 10 daily activities to help you increase your influence and credibility, I give you a link to the book. So the link to that book is in there. I'm pretty sure I included it in there because it's relevant to that topic. But that is one book that everybody on planet Earth needs to read. It talks about the 6 human triggers that get people to take action. And this is any kind of action, whether it be a sales action or not, whether it's like you're influencing your kids to take out the garbage or help with their chores, is a really good book. And one of the 6 human triggers is credibility. So if I'm talking to you and if you don't view me as a credible person, then you're not going to take action with me. It's just the way it works. And same goes for you when you're showing up. If people don't view you as a credible, influential figure, and you don't have to have all this success or be an expert, by the way, to have this, but there are certain things that you need to do to help increase this. And I include that in the 10 daily activities to help you increase your influence and credibility to help you. So I hope you enjoy that. We put it together and you can go and get it at tanyaaliza.com /164. The other book that I was talking about was it's called A Brand Called You. And if somebody can type this in the comment section below, it's A Brand Called You. And the author is not Robert Cialdini, that's influence. It's Peter Montoya. I saw Peter speak at an event many years ago. It had to have been 6 or 7 years ago now. The book's been out for a little while. That keynote presentation that he did for the hour, 60 minutes that he did, I was on the edge of my seat and I was like, this is so good. Like, no fluff. Like, this was so good on building a personal brand and like the actual actionable steps that he gives on what's important, and the explanation that he gave on why it's important was really, really good. So if you're like obsessed like I am about building like a true brand, a personal brand that lasts the test of time, like I'm not just here to sell products for a year and make some money and bounce. Like, no, like I'm here for a long time to help this group of people, and I'm super passionate about it. And if that's the same for you and your tribe and what you do and what you sell, then you get obsessed about all of the things and you read all the things and you digest the things and you implement the things that make sense to you in your business. So, yep. So Tracy put it up there, and I love how you included the author too. So Tracy, thanks for sharing. Yep, it's called A Brand Called You by Peter Montoya. I think I also referenced that book in this download that I have for you guys to make it easy. So you can go and check that out. But yeah, the topic of online branding becomes very confusing to a lot of people. And it was when I was in the beginning trying to build a brand as well. And I actually interviewed, I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was an episode that launched a few weeks ago on the podcast. I interviewed John Melton. How many of you guys know who John Melton is? Let me know in the comment section below if you know John. But John and his wife, Nadia, are great friends of mine. And while I was interviewing him, he was talking about this gal that works with him in his network marketing team. And John and his wife are top 50 earners in network marketing. So very successful, works with a lot of people. And in the interview was talking about this one gal on his team. And this one gal didn't really have a lot of traction for many years. And then all of a sudden, she found clarity, he said, and she started to post, and the post started to get traction, and she was popping sales every day, multiple sales a day from the posts that she was doing. And I asked John, I said, John, what do you think contributed to that clarity? What changed? And John said, well, the thing that changed was she understood who she was showing up to serve. She understood who her tribe was, because then she could speak to the needs, wants, and desires through her posts. And now people were paying attention to her posts because they were very specific geared towards that specific audience, speaking to their needs, wants, desires, pains, pleasures, struggles, challenges, everything. And those posts were actually getting noticed. People were taking action. People are looking at her as like a credible, influential figure and helping them. And then when she made her recommendations and suggestions to buy her products and services, people were like, heck yes, heck yes, heck yes. And so I was like, man, that's so important. I said, I'm going to do this talk on branding because so many people see other people doing things online and they're like, I need this fancy logo. I need this. And although that's great, you guys, one of our top selling programs that I have is called the Ultimate Branding Blueprint. And if you guys don't have a website or blog yet, go check out theultimatebrandingblueprint.com and go through that program. It'll walk you through a do-it-yourself, professionally well-branded website, and it'll get that set up. But although that stuff is important, it's not the first thing that we focus on. And by the way, in the Ultimate Branding Blueprint program that I have, I walk you through the tribe exercise. You understand who your tribe is. You know your topics. You know exactly, because everything that you do, like the pages that you create, the language that you use on your website, the logo that you get or you design on your website, that all falls in line with the tribe, your tribe, the person that you know that you're speaking to, and you're becoming the go-to person for that little niche of cohort of people. But that is, like I said, like the logo's great, the website's great, but we have to understand who it is that we're showing up to serve. Now, for those of you that are scared to figure out that tribe, because maybe you're like me and you're like, man, I was a little bit scared because if I pick one tribe to show up and serve, like what happens to everybody else that my products and services are good for? And if you market to everybody or you try to speak to everybody with your brand, you actually will speak to nobody. I don't know if you guys have heard that before, but it's the truth. It becomes very vanilla and noisy and just people glaze over it. It doesn't specifically help somebody. So you have to be specific, because the more specific you are, the better it is for your brand, the more sales you're going to pop. The thing is that if you pick something now, and this is what I tell my clients, I said, pick a brand now and pick a tribe direction. And guess what happens? Maybe a year goes by, maybe 2 years go by, and you're like, I kind of want to have a new brand direction. I want to have a new tribe. Guess what? You can do it. You can do it. You're your own boss, and you can pivot. You can make changes. Nothing is ever set in stone. Nothing's ever set in stone. Like I told you guys before, my tribe was network marketers for 10 years. 10 years. And then I was like, man, I want to expand a little bit. I'm starting to talk to more realtors and insurance brokers and designers and freelance entrepreneurs. Like, I really want to expand a little bit. And guess what I did? And then boom, we've expanded a little bit. So nothing is ever set in stone. You can always evolve, you can pivot, you can change, but it's really important to go in one direction and be as specific as possible for, your seasons that you do that. It's very important. You can help. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoy it. If you are a member of ours with either any of our three main programs that we have, which is Growth Camp, the Ultimate Branding Blueprint, and my List Building Bootcamp, you get access to the ChatGPT training. And again, if you want to take your brand to the next level, the Ultimate Branding Blueprint is really stellar. It's amazing. And then we also have our free resource for you this week on this live, my 10 daily activities to help you increase your influence and credibility. So I hope this gives you tons of value and tons of information to digest for your brand. And it's a good investment for your brand, especially nowadays. Like, you want to elevate it. There's so much going on social media. You have to elevate everything that it is that you're doing. And with our community, I know that you're in great hands. So it's great to have you here. You guys are absolutely amazing. I hope you found this helpful this week. Go out and crush your week and make it very productive and profitable. Thank you so much, you guys. Have an amazing week. Talk to you next week. Bye.